Bonjour, mon ami. Do you want to speak French confidently, but just don't seem like finding the time or the right person to make conversation with? I am Llyane Stanfield, and you are watching a French Minute with Llyane, where you practice with me for just a few minutes a day, or for 24 days in a row. And in the process, I introduce you to my signature program, J'Ouellette Intensif, which helps you reach an advanced level of conversation. Today is day number 20 of 24, and these videos expire from Facebook. So if you'd like to have access, unlimited access for life, to all the 24 videos to practice again and again until you feel comfortable with them, as well as having a really great idea about what J'Ouellette Intensif is, please click on the link in the description of this video and you'll find everything there. You'll also find there a very amazingly juicy bonus that I can only offer for another couple of days, and so definitely come on over, click there and check it out. Today is day number 20, and I will introduce to you a very quick sample from lesson 20 of the second level, level B. So level B is the intermediate level, and that helps you have a great idea about what is the intermediate level. Lesson 20 it's in the later third of the second level of the level B. B is the intermediate level. So you will have an idea about what this is introducing. Also, the lessons build upon each other, and so there's a lot of repetition of what you have already learned in the previous lessons. So in 24 videos, I can't give a sample from every single lesson. So I skipped kind of a sample from every third lesson type of thing, but you will get an idea of the learning curve as well as the end result, the destination of what would mean for you to come up with these sentences organically, naturally, without really thinking about it, and just be confident with them in conversation. So you will find the sentences that I want to talk about today under the video so that you can follow me. I will read, translate, explain a little bit of grammar that's included here, and really not the grammar so much. So grammar, rules of the grammar, vocabulary, verb conjugation, they can be easily found in books. And a lot of people know a lot of what I am saying here. What you have to really, the point of view of these videos as well as of the program itself, is to focus on the phrase construction of phrase, on the sentence construction, the French sentence construction. We also do the pronunciation, which cannot be done on your own. I know because I dealt with my English pronunciation. And pronunciation and sentence construction are the two things that cannot be done on our own. And so what I am going to focus here is not the vocabulary, because that you can do on your own. It's not the verb conjugation, that you can do on your own. And it's not the grammar so much, so the structure of the sentence and the way we use these words inside of the sentence. So I'm going to read, and please follow. Le pain est fait par le boulanger. La cuisine est faite par la ménagère. Le pain est fait par le boulanger. La cuisine est faite par la ménagère. We are introducing here quite a few elements, and this is the reason why this is the intermediate level. The bread is made by the bread maker oh, don't have the word, but the bread maker, right? The kitchen, the cooking is made by the la ménagère, means the lady of the house. Now, what is introduced here? You notice est fait and est faite. So at first sight, you would be noticing this difference, hopefully. So we're looking at the patterns. So this is the pattern here. And so it could seem to be only, oh, I see. So because le pain is masculine and fait is going to have to be masculine, is going to have to agree with le pain. And then la cuisine est faite. La cuisine is feminine, faite has to be feminine, is going to be just an agreement thing. But here is really what is introduced here is the passive voice. And passive voice is a voice mood that is really not one of the favorites for the Anglophones. Because the Anglophones are not only culturally, the passive voice is not that used, but in the French lessons in the Anglophone, well, I know in North America for sure, the passive is it's introduced, it's explained that the passive voice is actually not used much. Passive voice is used as much as the active voice, as much as the reflexive voice. And I'm going to this is a bigger discussion, obviously. So the active, I'm going to give you an example with all these three modes, so you know what I'm talking about, catering here to the beginners as well, so that you see what the difference is. So I'm going to use this sentence. Active voice. I wash the dog. Who's washing? I wash the dog. I'm actively doing the action of washing the dog, and the dog gets washed. Reflexive voice. I wash myself. I'm doing the washing, the subject, but I'm washing myself. So myself, the object, is the same with the subject, reflection of the action onto the subject. That's the reflexive mode. And then the dog is washed by me. The technical subject of the sentence is the dog, but the dog is not actively doing the action of the washing. The object, me, is doing the action of the object. And so the reason this is the passive mode is because the subject is passive. The subject is the one that gets washed. Okay, the dog is just passively sitting there and gets the washing from me. These are the three modes. Now, there is a myth that the passive voice is not really that much used in French, but it is as much used. I mean, all three modes are used as necessary. So there's no judgment, preconception, or anything that stops us from using the passive voice. And because of this myth, most people don't really know, first, what is the passive voice, and secondly, how to use it. Passive voice, as well as the reflexive voice, verbs are conjugated with the verb to be, être. So every verb that is conjugated with the verb to be, être, will have to agree, the past participle, in this case fait, faite, with the subject. So it has to be agreed, right? So le pain est fait, la cuisine est faite, le chien est lavé, la chienne est lavée, with another additional e at the end. So this is why the agreement there, because, so long story short, the agreement, yes, we are introducing that agreement, but the agreement is there because it's the passive voice. Make sure you note that you're talking about the passive voice. And passive voice and reflexive voice, they are conjugated with être, as well as the 16 verbs in the active voice, like aller, tomber, venir, and all those verbs, 16 verbs in the active voice that conjugate with être. So most of the verbs really in the French language are conjugated with être, if you think about it this way. Okay, now I'm going to, I don't want to make this video really long. It's just an introduction, just a presentation. I want you to be, introduced to, oh, this is what I would learn in lesson 20 level B if I would take the intensive program. So now I'm going to talk about the pronunciation, because like I said before at the beginning, pronunciation and sentence construction are the two elements of the language learning that cannot be done on our own. And the reason I'm saying that you can learn vocabulary, you can learn verb conjugation, and you can learn grammar in the books, and the reason I'm so very strong in my opinion, on this opinion, is because I have 10 clients who teach French in high school, in an Anglophone high school in North America. So obviously they know really well the language, but the conversation is the one that they still need, help with. And this is major. This is the reason why I am approaching language learning in a completely different way. We start making conversation at the very beginning of this program. So as you advance through the knowledge of the language, of these three elements, vocabulary, verb conjugation, and grammar, you include them in conversation every single hour with me, every single week with me. This is the reason why it is possible for someone in 5 months to go through this program. So, pronunciation. Le, final E is silent, or pronounced E. It doesn't have an accent. Now, if you go through, just take a little explanation here. If you go through all these 24 videos, you're going to see that I address the rules of pronunciation. And while it's interesting for you to see how they play out, you really do need to know them so that you apply the rules of pronunciation when you try to speak. Okay, so I'm just giving you their occurrence, the way that they appear in the language. So, pain. AI is a rule, is pronounced E in French, and because of final N, which is nasal, because it's at the end of the word, is pronounced as pain. E followed by two consonants, another rule, is pronounced E, like in the English word egg. Fait, same thing, AI is pronounced E, and final consonant, which is T, is silent. Parle, this is an exception, final R is pronounced. Le, same E without an accent, is pronounced E. Boulanger, OU is pronounced OU. AN is pronounced nasal A, ang. And G, GE, G followed by E is pronounced J, the soft J, not the hard G. And then final ER is pronounced E, like in the word egg. So everything that I said here to you are specific rules of pronunciation that I'm teaching inside of the intensive program. La, a final vowel is always pronounced cuisine. UI is the hardest diphthong, two vowels, one after the other, in the language. Reason being is because for U, our lips stay the farthest from the mouth, like U, they go farthest forward, and in the vowel E, the lips are going backwards. And so it's literally the physical travel space that the lips have to do to perform in order for U, E to sound U, E. If you try to say it very quickly, what's going to happen, either U is dropping in UE, and it's you're going to say only E. That's my experience after hundreds of clients. Or you pronounce U instead of U, and it's going to sound cuisine, which is easier to pronounce. So be careful. In order for it to be easier pronounced and clearly pronounced, not to drop anything or change any sound, then you have to stay a little longer on the U so that you prepare the E. So cuisine. S between two vowels rule, pronounced Z. And then final E, silent. A, we talked before, fête. AI pronounced E, and T is pronounced because of the final E. Final E without an accent is silent. Par, we talked about it. La, and ménagère. E with an accent pronounced E, like in the English word egg. Na is clear. Gère, G followed by E sounds like J, not like G. E with an accent is E, like in the word egg. And re final E is silent. A lot of rules of pronunciation here. But what I do want to say, it's important that you do need to know these rules of pronunciation. So what I do in the during the pronunciation course, which is part of the intensive program, and only for another couple of days now, I'm actually giving like a much larger program for pronunciation, so that you actually manage to master every single point of view and every single whatever problems you can encounter for pronunciation, and that comes for free inside of the intensive program for a couple of days. And so you need to know these rules of pronunciation. What I do during the pronunciation course, after we go through all the rules of pronunciation, then we read a text with words that you don't understand, so that you actually are able to focus on the pronunciation and the way the rules of pronunciation occur in the text, which actually changes your point of view and your approach. And that is the actual skill that I'm teaching, to change the shift from looking at pronunciation from a word perspective, as in this is pronounced this way because it means that particular thing, and shifting that to this is pronounced this way because this vowel is followed by this consonant, this letter is followed by this other letter. So from the word level to the letter level in French, pronunciation is at the letter level, not at the word level. Really, really important big shift. So this is what I have for you for today. Stay on your game and keep going for your dreams to become bilingual. Learn to speak Parisian French and break your language barrier. Share this video. Come to the website. See all the 24 videos to see what's going on and what the progress that you'll see. It's of course just a snapshot. And I will see you tomorrow for our next video. Thank you. Merci beaucoup et à demain. Au revoir.